edit stuff, don't you?
Yeah, and I don't know. The last time I've done this, it just kind of like condenses everything and like does it itself. So and it'll just like save right to my computer. So it's awesome. But dude, did you see my post about I made my own freaking kombucha? You ever had
You were,
kombucha?
you were telling me that you're gonna make some.
It's
Um,
the best, bro.
I mean,
It,
probably because you made it.
well, that's exactly right. Like the process is super easy. I've been drinking kombucha for like a while now, and one of Wendy's friends, Sarah, came over and was like, "Dude, I'm like gonna show you how to make it and everything," and she did, and I was like, "Holy cow, this process is so easy!" So I have like another batch going, and essentially what I want to do is is to have my own like kombucha line and like have it be uh just combined with massage, because one of the goals I was having when I started this, just my Troy Flato LLC brand, the personal brand, was like I want to start like a tea line and have work with maybe like an herbalist that I give someone a massage, and whatever they're dealing with. It could be like for again joint pain, it could be I need help relaxing, I can't sleep, yada yada yada. I go
Yeah,
to this herbalist, and then they have this I don't know, this program or this maybe drink or tea that they could give to this client to also help them with this. So then I realized, shit, kombucha is fermented tea. So I'm like, maybe it's not going to be in the way that I thought, but like having my own tea line, like I'm just going to try, I'm going to let this, ferment in my mind for about 6 months though, before I actually start like posting that I'm selling it. I just want to get it like in the ecosystem, like, hey, Troy and kombucha go together. So
yeah.
then I can kind of prime it. So then when I do decide to launch it, I won't be like, oh, that's weird. Like all of a sudden Troy's just like making kombucha now. Like, so I'm just slowly kind of like releasing that. And so yeah, it's super freaking easy. It takes like 2 weeks. And the more that you do it, the more that you can keep continuing to make. So it's just this like compounded, interest
That
effect.
makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah. Do you shovel the driveway? What were you doing today?
dude. Well, I had my normal Skype call in the morning, and then I realized there was a blizzard, so I shoveled all the snow.
Yeah,
And I will probably have to do that shortly after we get done again.
I know. It's still coming down. It's actually kind of nice. Like the snow looks real pretty and
Oh, it's light. I was out there and it was peaceful, but the snow kept getting on my headphone. It kept pausing my music
oh
or
yeah,
my pod. I was listening to a podcast, and
nice.
it cuts the vibe when that's cutting in and out.
Are you still listening to the Mind Pump?
Yeah. I was listening
Yeah.
to them. They actually had a guy on. Um, he is an author and a researcher, and he was talking about the vegan movement and
Mm-hmm.
how like the talk about how the greenhouse gases from all the like farm animals, like the animals that we eat, how it's supposedly supposed to be so bad for our environment. When realistically, when COVID shut everything down, that those numbers went. The number of like livestock consumed went up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Transportation went down drastically because planes, trains, cars were all moving less, and the
Mm.
greenhouse gas emission total went down drastically. So
Mm.
his pitch is that that is contributing way more than the greenhouse gases from like cows, which everybody says is crazy.
So the transportation of the meat is actually what's doing it. So how did they?
Not even
How did
not even the meat, but he means just in general because we
in
couldn't
general?
fly, we couldn't
Right.
we couldn't take a train anywhere, we weren't driving anywhere because we're working from home.
Right.
So his suggestion is instead of focusing on switching over to veganism and cutting out all beef and dairy and chicken and all that, is
Mm-hmm.
to find alternative sources for fuel.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I see that.
And a really interesting concept he mentioned that I didn't even think about
Mm.
is say we get rid of farms. There's no farm animals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, the way an ecosystem works is there has to be animals in the ecosystem for it to grow.
Okay.
You got to have carnivores, herbivores. You got to have the plants. You got to have like the insects. So if we cut out the livestock that we eat,
Mm-hmm.
natural livestock are going to come in anyways. So the greenhouse
Right.
gas emission isn't going to change.
Oh, I see. I
Other
see.
animals are going to take place of that position.
See, I went really hard about going into vegetarianism and veganism and such, and then like It's just really tough. Like I had the goal, you know, I want to do that, but I just realized like this past year, it's, you know, I just don't have that same amount of energy. And like, yeah, there are different sources, but I'm like stuck in this position of like, well, if I eat meat, you know, it's bad. And if I don't eat meat, it's still bad. So like, it's like the thing that I'm doing is just trying to like, just listen to my body more. Like I've been eating steak a couple more times, and dude, I've been like craving steak and just allowing myself to eat it. And, like I remember the one night when I had it, I went to sleep and I was like sweating in bed, and I was like, this actually feels kind of nice, like to be hot, like it's a real hot. It was a hot experience, and actually got a lot of energy from it. And I'm just
Okay.
realizing like, okay, this is real. Like I'm experiencing this. Like how can I make this beneficial? So that's why I go to Country Style Marketplace. Like I try to buy, you know, those nice Michigan products, those are the Michigan beef, you know, something that's you know, as close and local as possible. Because one, actually, this goes right to the point I just realized. You know, the more local products that you buy, it's the less transportation. Um, uh, you're not adding to all of this, yeah, this transportation
Mhm.
and shit that goes into the environment. So yeah, so when I do eat meat, I just try to get it as local and close to home as possible. Maybe more less factory farm, just because I don't know, like maybe it's because I've seen so much of what the industry does, like with the slaughterhouses, and maybe that's just like fear mongering. But
Yeah.
I do think that the environment that which that cattle is raised has a huge influence on what you eat. Like you're going to eat that stress, you're going to eat those, you know, poor conditions, and then you're going to feed yourself with that. So if you can get something that's more, I don't know, grass fed and those all those, you know, new age kind of terms, um, I personally, even if it's just the placebo effect, I enjoy it. I enjoy it more. So
Well, I know the meat you get around here at the very least is going to go from field to table a lot quicker.
mhm.
You know, you go get a steak from Meyer, who knows where it came from?
Yeah,
You get a
yeah.
steak from Country Style Marketplace or Vinker's, you know, the little grocery store by me. I mean, like
Hmm.
the color of the meat's different, it tastes different, the texture's different.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'd pay an extra buck to get a better steak.
Yeah, totally. Okay, Duff, let's get right into these questions. So I told you a little bit, but basically what I'm trying to do is just, you know, interview a lot of inspiring people who I think have really inspiring philosophies, and just kind of see what happens. I really just want to dig into the mindset of kind of who you are, why you do what you do, you know, sort of thing. So let's just start off by maybe you can explain to the viewers and the listeners really what was that like domino effect. What was the reason why you became a personal trainer?
Okay, lots of factors that kind of fold
Yeah,
into place.
let's hear it.
Um, so we'll start at the initial point where I started thinking about this.
Hmm.
I used to be a super sick kid. I had pneumonia as a kid, bronchitis as a kid. I had the stomach flu every single winter. It was like literally you knew which week you're gonna get it every year.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started playing football in seventh grade, I realized I wasn't getting as sick as much.
Mm.
And I told my grandma this. I'm like, I think playing sports makes me less sick. She's like, that's dumb. That doesn't make any sense. I was like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I feel better. And then from probably about seventh grade till now, I maybe have gotten stomach flu 3 times.
Mm.
And that's been what, over half my life now. In the first half of my life, I had it every single winter.
Yeah.
So with the sports came, you know, training for the sports, you know, running and lifting, eating better. I know eating better helped me perform better. If I performed better, I felt better. And it was just, you know, it was a circle. So fast forward to the end of like high school, yeah, junior, senior year of high school, playing football, our coaches would always preach visualizing what you want to happen, right? So before a game, like I would visualize certain plays, like maybe catching a touchdown pass, you know, catching the ball, juking, scoring a touchdown, making a big block to, you know, make a run for the quarterback. Or one that really worked a lot, which still to me, still now kind of baffles me, is envisioning forcing a fumble.
Mm.
So, you know, the other guy gets the ball, he's running, and you're like, I think I can knock this ball out of his hand if I just focus on it. And you run
Mm-hmm.
up and you knock the ball out of his hand and it comes out and you scoop it up. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I got
it's like,
goosebumps from that. I actually feel I feel that process. That's cool.
Yeah, and they're like, how that happens? Like you think about it.
Yeah.
You see it happening and you make it happen. Because once you've already thought something through, like I visualize, me snapping the ball for the punt, getting past the defender, running, he catches it, I hit him and knock it out. Like I see this happening.
Yeah.
So then when we punt and I snap the ball and I run down the field and I make the move and I hit and knock the ball, it's already happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I'm just making it real.
Yes. Yes.
So that was just kind of like one thing that I started with, and that that principle goes on my clients now. Like, if you want to be able to do this, like visualize yourself doing this. If you want to go on a roller coaster, I had a client who wanted to go. I believe, yeah, it was on a roller coaster, so she had to hit a certain weight goal to get there. I'm like, we'll just keep working towards it and get excited about that roller coaster because you're going.
Well, real quick too, and not to interrupt in a rude way, but what I love about kind of our dichotomy too, because I'm kind of on that, like, I don't know, that spiritual hippie side of kind of life, and when I see you, it's like a little bit more practical, more down to earth, more, I wouldn't even say science based, but like you're not in that spiritual sort of mindset, and like you're doing things like this mindset, this visualization is kind of like the part in the middle where we kind of overlap. Like it's a real thing. Like to be able to set your mind to something, and then to achieve it. Like it's the law of attraction. You could say, like, all this
Yep.
stuff is very, very real. So you can keep going.
Yeah, it's crazy to really think about that. I mean, really anything you want, if you can set up, we talked about like goals. We'll get in the goals area.
Yeah.
Let's go on to the next part here. So
Yeah.
we had that. Talking about personal training. Okay, so I went to college. I had 3 seasons for 4 years in college: football, indoor track, outdoor track. You got like 2 days between football and track, and then like a week before indoor and outdoor season.
Yeah.
And then summer comes, you go home, you're working out and you're working. So in college, especially, I had a lot of injuries. I mean, concussion, at least like 3. That's how many I remember. Bicep tear, hamstring tear, Achilles tendonitis, strained hamstring on the other side. And that's just like the things that actually like, took me out for a minute. That's not kind of the nagging back pain and hip pain and ankle pain and all that. So what I figured out from my track coach there, my senior year, I figured out from my track coach right before I graduated, that like not every time you're working out needs to be the hardest you can possibly work out. You don't need to hit certain numbers every time you're in there. The goal is just to work the technique, work the form, work the movement, and get better in that area, and not try to max out and fail and go to terrible form. So that was something that was kind of, that started to click. I would say like 1% then. Like I noticed it then.
Got you.
And at that point, my throwing coach, who had been my throwing coach for the last 2 years, he was a personal trainer and a really fun guy. And I thought it was awesome that he could literally just come in, show people how to exercise, and he got paid for that. And it's like a way to continue being an athlete. And I had already known like I wanted to own a business since I was in high school. First plan was to own a restaurant, and I realized how much daily grind owning a restaurant is.
Yeah.
And the products you got to keep up, the staff, so much.
Real quick, what is that for you? Like, why was that such a big part of your life? Why do you think you want to be a business owner?
Well, I kind of grew up around it. My 2 of my great uncles, one opened I think it was Detroit Motor, some kind of mechanic shop in Detroit. The other one opened an electric company in Detroit, and they're both like, I mean, they're set now.
Yeah.
But the big thing with that is, every time I've worked somewhere and there's downtime and there's nothing to do, I feel like I'm wasting that time. And then also knowing that working, like grinding out for an hour versus slacking off for an hour, still looks the same on a paycheck.
Right.
So it's hard to rationalize that for me, because like if I'm gonna slack off, I want to slack off, play video games. I want to slack off and like watch TV or read a book or go for a walk. I don't want to slack off by standing there and pretending to be busy.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
So when I have the desire to like to go and grind, I want to be able to see a some feedback from that.
Yep.
I want to be able to sell 4 programs in an hour and see that versus if I spread that over 4 hours, then I'm gonna make less per hour, and I could have been grinding out for a smaller time and then chilling for some time or getting
Sure.
housework done or something.
Gotcha.
So after that, let's go over to working at Munger PT. Mm-hmm. So before then, like I was trainer. I had decent client base, but I felt like I could have used just a little bit more. Mm-hmm. So I started working there 2 days a week, and I was just their gym technician, helped out with exercises. Come to find out, I was doing a lot of things subpar. Mm-hmm. So a simple hamstring stretch, there's 3 different aspects of that I was missing. Mm. And I was kind of amazed when one of the PTAs showed me that you can do that better. And I didn't think of that for stretching. I'm like, it's just a stretch. You just do it to do it.
Right.
And from there, like working with Marcus and James and Dan and Carrie and all the people who work there, Luke, Jen, Laura.
Love those guys. Yeah.
So what I learned there is like a lot of people have problems from moving too little. And a lot of people's aches and pains and problem areas can be helped by just moving those areas or stretching other areas. Mm-hmm. And it's not always where you think.
Mm-hmm. So right.
Somebody with low back pain a lot of times have tight hip flexor muscles. I'm not saying like this is a the answer
generalized. Yeah, exactly.
But like working with a client who has like just a little discomfort, like we can work with that. They have a little bit of knee pain, we stretch maybe the calf muscle. Right. And to them, it makes no sense. It's crazy. It's magic. But then like when you really break it down, it makes sense. And what I figured out from there is it's not about like making your clients sweat and throw up and be sore as hell the next day. Right. But it's about making them feel better when they leave than they did when they came in.
Yeah.
Because that's really what you want. You don't want me to dig you into the dirt and feel worse than you did before you came, because that's not enjoyable. That's not long term. That's not sustaining,
It's also not for everybody. Like, we're not all meant to be this bodybuilding, athlete. Some people like use this as just a way, like drink water, you eat food, you move, like we're a human. It's part of life. So it's being a human doesn't equate to, beating the shit out of yourself.
Right. So, I guess we can kind of go into that. We'll save that still. So right now I'm kind of pulling things that I learned, different concepts.
No, I like
kind of get me to where I'm at now.
I like it.
So I also, I did in high school, I was a long jumper and a sprinter. And in college, I was a javelin thrower mostly. And I jumped because nobody else would jump for our team.
Okay.
Definitely not as good as it was in high school, but it was, it was fun, Yeah. I enjoyed it. And it's funny to see a little 5'8", 215-pound me running down and jumping.
Yes.
So I came back from college and got offered to be the shot put and discus coach for the high school at Croslex, knowing nothing about those. I remember I picked up a discus once and threw it, and it was terrible, and I stopped trying. So what I've figured out there is like every kid has terrible technique when they're first learning all those movements. It's a very like ballet-esque kind of technique.
Gotcha.
So kind of like our roots analogies that we've talked about a few times, like starting at the base and working up.
Yep.
From that, and then my barefoot specialist certification, I realized that to really critique this technique, we need to start with the feet. Because if their feet aren't moving right, who cares what their left arm is doing when they come across?
Right.
Because if we adjust that, their focus isn't going to be down there. So let's start the feet. You do your footwork. If you mess up your footwork, you're still doing footwork.
Yep.
Once you can turn your feet right, then we work on the knees. Then we work on the hips. Then we work on the torso. And then we'll put a shot in your hand or a disc in your hand. Then we'll work on how to release. So that's kind of come in handy with training too, because if somebody's having it possibly even shoulder pain. It could be because their left foot has too high of an arch because the muscles are too tight in the foot, and that's throwing everything off. More often than not, that's more like a lower back issue.
Sure.
But it gives you a good clean spot to start from and work up.
I like
instead
that.
of just guessing and throwing darts.
No, I totally get what you're saying. Yeah.
So from that is why I start every client with a mobility assessment.
Mm-hmm.
So our first session, we'll see what areas you're bad at moving, what areas you're good at moving. And we'll figure out how to make the areas you're bad at moving better. And once those are better, then we add resistance training.
Yeah.
So again, there's no point in building a house on a shoddy foundation. Let's get that set up.
Exactly. No, and that's like the same thing with massage too. It's like, they taught us very heavily in school, like, this person might have some shoulder pain, or this person might be having some, let's use the wrist because that's a really good one. So people might have like carpal tunnel issues or like having some wrist pain. And actually it's because they have a nerve impingement up in their neck. It's like, so they teach us like, you can massage that place. Like, that's going to make them feel good. But if you want them to come back and not have the wrist pain, you want to work on the actual root cause of something. So it's that same philosophy that, and it even goes to, let's say, prescriptions. It's like, we need to treat the root cause to really, undo whatever it is that's bothering us. So.
Definitely. Instead of just like covering it up with a Band-Aid and wondering why it didn't go away.
Exactly.
So from there, I've actually learned a lot from working with different clients.
Mm-hmm.
I've had clients in the past cancel sessions because they're still too sore from the prior session.
Mm-hmm.
Which then I was like, oh, okay, I went maybe a little too hard on them. Maybe I should have gone a little bit lighter, or like, oh, they're just being a wimp. They don't want to come in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now, like, I tell them, like, you should be like a little bit sore, but if you're insanely sore, tell me. We need to dial back and we'll do some adjustments.
Yeah.
Because what I want to do is I want to help you. This is like Sal DiStefano preaches this on the Mind Pump podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Him and those guys have been trainers for combined like 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
And he always says you want to do as little as possible to elicit growth.
Yes, right.
So that works for multiple ways. Like, I think of the compound effect of like business. I have a business degree.
Mm-hmm.
So if you invest, $5 a month, whatever, $5 a month for a year, that ends up being $60.
Right.
$5 becomes $60. That's not much, and it comes with, it's okay, some money.
Yeah.
And then that multiplies over the years.
Yep.
So same thing with, investing like 5% more into your health.
Yeah.
That builds up over time. That results in bigger changes over time.
Yeah.
Than just kind of going hard for a month and then giving up.
Yeah. No, totally. So I'm seeing like your entire process was pretty much predicated on like you see movement, and because it really all comes down to movements, whether it's sports or it's working out, kind of, wouldn't say cured you, but you saw like how much better you feel, how much more, you could say, fun that you're having, and like how much movement is necessary. And it's almost like you want to give that back to other people. Like, you're like, that's like essentially the reason why you're becoming a personal trainer, because you saw, hey, I was sick, I didn't feel as good. Now I incorporate some sort of intentional movement into my lifestyle, and you want to learn how to give that back to other people. Is that correct?
Yep. And to go off that, I've also learned that overdoing it has a lot of downsides. So shortly after college, I'm like, sweet, I don't need to run anymore or stretch. I can just lift, get really strong, and eat a bunch of food.
Yeah.
And I started having like digestive problems from eating too much freaking Burger King chicken nuggets. Put on, actually, I'm about the same weight now as I was then, but this time around I put on weight while increasing my mobility. So then I realized that it was very uncomfortable to do a shoulder press and get 290 degrees or below, and it hurt. Right. Shoulders hurt all the time, elbows hurt all the time, wrist hurt, hips hurt. My squats were junk. I put 450 on the bar and I'd go like 3/4 of the way down, and yeah, I was strong for that range of motion, but like my hips always hurt.
Yeah.
Like always. and that caused back issues. And it just, 2 hours in the gym, 6 days a week, eating a bunch of food. It's like,
Yeah.
it takes too much time and it's not giving you the results you want.
No, and I can endorse that too, having worked with you a little bit, like your muscle mass ratio to your mobility is really good. I mean, yeah, you see these guys who can't scratch their back, and like it's these simple movements. Like it goes again to the philosophy that I've learned about you over the time, is like it's about being you. It's about being human. It's about having fun, and not like for the necessarily the aesthetic. Everything has its place, and I'm not shunning anything, but like you're really helping people become a better functioning freaking human, and like you can look good and feel good on top of it, not just, yeah, let's eat 3,000 calories, but not caring about where those calories come from. Like that's a whole other game, like what you're describing, that it actually brings the quality of life down rather than improves it. Yeah, you're getting bigger, but like, yeah, you're like on the toilet all the time, and like you can't scratch your back. Like it's yeah, it's a real thing. So I can endorse that, because you're living proof of that, and it just kudos to you for that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I know you're proud of that. I know you're proud of that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like I've always, like, I started this with becoming an athlete playing sports. So like I went and played dodgeball around like the edge of that time, and my hand went numb that afternoon, and I was scrambling eggs and I couldn't hold the spatula. That's how like poor my range of motion was, and trying to throw a dodgeball out of nowhere. And I just I'm like, I can't feel my hand. This isn't good. Right. And like, I want to be able to go do what I want to do. Like this past weekend, my buddy Josh came over and he was tossing the football around in my garage. I'm like, you're kind of teasing me. Do you want to go throw that? And he's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So we played catch for like a good half hour in the cold, and I felt great after. Shoulder felt fine, lobbing him across the yard. And that's what I want to be able to do, is whatever I want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's like what I want my clients to be able to move properly through a 4-range motion while adding strength to it.
Yeah, because that translates to everything, whether you're a bowler or you're a disc golfer or you golf or you're a farmer. Like, let's get your body in the best position to be as strong as it can, and to move 360 degrees so that you can do and apply that to anything.
And that's going to decrease your chance of injuries too because of that.
Exactly.
So
anything? Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, so we got that. We're talking about fun. Like, I don't like that. So everybody thinks, I think a lot of people look at like working out in the gym and fitness as bodybuilding, and that's not accurate. I don't count my calories. I try to eat protein with every meal. Try, doesn't mean I do. I drink a lot of water. I mix in vegetables. I try at least once a day, and occasionally I like to have beer, and like that's what I like to do. So, and those new Oreos came out, the Brookio ones. But like, the difference between like just kind of working out and enjoying your life and having good balance and bodybuilding is no beer, is no cookie. It's like super, 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 super strict to get that like 10% leaner body. And if that's what you want, that's what you want, you prefer looking like that, then going and hang out with your buddies and having a beer and just chilling out, having some pizza, like cool, that's fine, go for it. But like most people who want to start exercising, who haven't before, or they're out of shape, that's not necessarily what they care to be. They just want to look better and feel better and move more.
Yeah. And that's the demographic that you're reaching, is that sort of that everyday human. Like, we're not, like I said before, we're not designed to be, 8% body fat. Like that's not sustainable long term for the average person. You're trying to help bridge that gap, like trying to change the philosophy around, hey, working out doesn't mean going to the gym for 2 hours. Working out could literally mean going for a bike ride for half an hour. And that's what I love so much about the work that we've done and through these 3 months of training with you. It's like you have really helped redefine, and not even just, I shouldn't say just redefine it, you have, but you've given me a new way to look at working out. Like some of the days you have me just walking for a half an hour, and like that's what I want to see more of. Like, I want to feel that freedom and that ability to find play in movement and changing the way working out feels in my body, because I'm just like that person you're describing. I used to think I got to be in the gym for 2 hours. I got to be, it's that CT Fletcher type shit. Like
Yeah.
that like, I got to feel freaking sore. Like, if you don't, you didn't work out. And it's like,
Yeah.
that's fun. That's hype. That's cool. But like, that's not everyone. And that's
And
not,
there's nothing wrong with plugging that in on occasion. Like, hey man,
yeah,
you know, just go hard and see what we can do. That's fine. But
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you do that every day, your body's gonna start to, you know, revolt and say like, you got to slow down, man. Like, take
And
some pain.
it becomes a whole other job. Like, you have to actually then dedicate your life to that, because then you got to be making sure you're eating the right amount of calories and quality calories, making sure you're getting quality sleep, when most average person, they don't want to make the gym another job. They're doing it for either mental relief or, you know, various other reasons, where they have children and their other jobs and dogs to take care of. They don't have time to be sleeping and counting their calories. So you are a great avenue for people to see movement differently. Yeah, and yeah, let's just keep talking about fun. Like, why is having fun so important to, you know, you and giving that experience to your clients? Like, why is that? Because that seems to be the main focus for you. Why is fun so important to you?
So a lot of people don't really like going to work, right?
Hmm.
Like, it's not fun. I mean, maybe it's like okay, but like maybe it's not fun.
Sure.
So then if you go to the gym because you have to and it's not fun, like you're doing something you don't want to do, followed by something you don't want to do, and then you're going home feeling like crap because you did two things you wanted to do, and then chances are you're going to eat, sleep, and repeat.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
you know, like if you if you restructure your mind to like, you know, this is enjoyable and you do it achievable, like it's a 30-minute walk for you. Like say
Hmm.
today, I think that's what your workout is.
Hmm.
So, okay, I'm at work. I just have to walk when I get home. That's my workout. I could walk for 10 minutes. I could just walk for 10 minutes to my car, you
Yeah.
know, take the long way, drive home, eat dinner, you know, play with my kids, go for a walk, 10 minutes. And then maybe I just like, you know, walk around the backyard picking up sticks or something. Like
Right.
you can make it, it doesn't have to be drive to the gym, swipe your card, drink pre-workout, walk on the treadmill for a half hour, you know,
Hmm.
like get your stuff and leave. Like it's not necessary. And you know, we want to make it very easy to do. And I try to set it just below where I want like my clients to be. So that way they're the ones nagging me, like, come on, can I do some more? Like this is it. It's like
Hmm.
perfect. Because
Yes.
that way you know you're not gonna overdo it.
Yeah.
You gotta stay hungry for it.
No, I love
And
that.
I think fun, this is another one that came from, you know, I mean, we've talked about it, this and that, and it's just all that mentality. If let's say like doing the dishes, right?
Hmm.
You know, you live in the house with your girlfriend. So if you don't do the dishes, who's doing the dishes? Your
Jeez.
girlfriend. One
Yeah.
of you
Yeah.
has to do them.
Yeah.
So like getting mad that you have to do them isn't going to help the fact that you have to do them. So,
Hmm.
you know, crank up some music, like just, all right, time to get some stuff done. Like I'm going to do dishes, have some fun doing it, maybe make some dinner,
Yeah.
screw around, make something new. It's the same thing with your workouts. Like you need to just rewire your brain to make it enjoyable.
Yeah.
If you don't like what you're doing, do something different.
Yeah, because we have that power, we have that ability to change.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I freaking love that, man.
Yeah.
All right, let's move into some goals. So, like, how much time do we have on? I guess I don't see the time on here, but I'm trying to keep it at like 30 to 45 minutes. But
Yeah, we
so
definitely passed that.
are we really? No
I
way.
don't
We
see
can just keep talking.
I
I
don't
don't
see
know. I don't see the time on here
it.
anyway. It's okay. I like talking to Duff. So what are some, maybe, goals do you have, whether they might be personal goals, they might be business goals, that you have maybe moving forward, whether it's 1 year, 5 year, 10 years, or 2 months, and how do you personally sort of go about setting that structure for your goals? Like, how do you set that infrastructure of setting goals, and maybe what are some of your goals?
So goal planning gets tricky for me because I mean, the easy, like logical, business minded, financial goal is to set how much money you want to make in a month, 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, a year,
Mhm.
so on. But I've noticed like when I put too much focus on that dollar amount, I think too much about the dollar amount and not
Mhm.
the people involved in that.
Totally.
So what I've been really working on is um we have like the 21 day fixes, the 24-day challenges, the 75 hard, the 8-day cleanse, whatever the things are. And everybody focuses on how much change they can make happen the quickest, but they
Yep.
do things that they will not do for the rest of their life.
Yep.
Like maybe they cut out carbs and they lose 30 pounds in a month. They think it's a win, and then they have a slice of pizza and they put on 50 pounds. Obviously, that's an
Mhm.
exaggeration.
Yes. Yes.
So, what I've kind of structured my training to is the DF 365 program.
Mhm.
So, that is taking the people who are kind of interested in those like challenges type programs to spend a year with me.
Yep.
Spend a year and we work on like your habits, not just cut out all these things, then you're going to lose the weight you want. And then when the time's up, you go back to normal because that doesn't work.
Mhm.
You gain that weight back unless you're like that bodybuilding 1% of the world who like can cut out everything that they enjoy and then be fine with it.
Mhm.
But we work one step at a time, drinking more water, walking after meals, simple little things that we build upon over the year. So by the end of the year, you're living a healthier lifestyle.
Right.
You don't want to go hang out at the bar every Friday night. I mean, you could if you want, but you're gonna be less likely to want to. You're gonna
Right.
be drinking less of the calorie drinks. You're actually be saving money. Like I
Right.
can even tell you how by hiring me you will save money,
Right.
and
Right.
it's all just to make better habits to make you happier.
Yeah.
So so for my goal setting, that's kind of one of my goals is I've got that self-support staff on Facebook, and like my like ringing the bell is every time I see that number of members goes up. It's
Mm.
pretty
Mm.
exciting.
You want to grow your community.
Mm-hmm.
You want to grow more people who are um, looking that long term and trying to just connect with those people that are doing it. Yeah, that's a great goal. I
Yeah.
love that. And so, do you personally, for yourself, kind of like what's the like for Robert, what is that infrastructure like? Because I mean, sometimes because I get sticky with goal setting too. Like I think I love the idea of goal setting, but I'm also very up to like plans changing. But I do think that there's something that you have to aim for, because if you aren't aiming for anything, your energy gets kind of sporadic. So
Yeah.
it's like how do you? Oh, I guess you did just answer that, like ringing
Well,
the bell, like when.
I can specify a little bit too though.
Yeah. Okay.
So I mean I know you were excited about it, and I was excited about it, but something I kind of like I'm cutting back on is like I do like apparel, the online training, I do in-person training. And then I was playing around with podcasts and streaming online.
Hmm.
And those two things end up taking way more time from you right now.
Hmm.
And they become more of a distraction. And I get caught up on making it perfect. And I realize a day's gone by and I haven't even finished editing one podcast.
Yep. Yep.
So it's either going to be more of, um, I know like Josh Sabo starting his podcast with the industry.
Yep.
So it's either gonna be more of like hopping on and doing a video with like you or him, and then kind
Hmm.
of like taking that and sharing it on mine,
Yep.
or it's gonna be just raw uncut. If we do this, it's up.
Well, that's exactly what I've been doing with these as well. Like this is just going to go on my YouTube channel. It's going to be some long form, and I might take a 60-second or 30-second bit here and there to like throw on, some social media. But
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, this is raw. This is just having the conversation. If someone really wants to spend the hour as like watch TV, but they want to watch some two local people that they know and love and can support, then go on YouTube and watch this for an hour and just learn about how we think. But I'm not gonna, because I was starting to post like these long formats on my Instagram and stuff, and I don't really like that because people aren't trying to be on there for an hour. They want that 30 to 60
as
second clip.
soon as that 60-second mark hits and it says keep watching, I swipe.
Yeah. So
I
that's what I'm learning too. It's like, nah, if you really want to see something long term, you'll go find it in another point. But when you're on Instagram, you're not thinking like that. So
yeah. So that's when you just put the exciting stuff on there.
so yeah. So one of your goals is maybe to maybe get more back into doing podcasts, because I mean, what I love
Well,
about this
actually, the
is
is actually
okay.
so that's actually like this is like my big focus this year.
The
So
365, yeah.
if somebody wants me up in person, we'll do it, right? We'll do it. We'll get them set up. We'll get them moving better. And then I always promote like when you're ready to fly, like feel free, but
Mm-hmm.
let's keep you on like a good program.
Yeah.
Instead of
Yeah.
like I understand what your exercises, how to do them pretty well now. If you want to do it on your own, good. But like let me keep like steering your ship,
Mm.
you know?
Ooh, that goes right into a great point. So what do you think about um, coaches, mentors, guides, teachers, like for you? Because I know that when I work with a trainer, someone who is sort of leading me, it lets my mind relax, knowing I don't have to think about what's to come, and I can actually just focus on my internal process instead of thinking about all these extra things. So what does a coach and having a coach sort of mean to you, and maybe your experience in your own life with that?
Well, I mean, I guess I could backtrack, say like I'm trying to get the best example. Probably honestly high school football with Jason Vandermaas
Yeah.
as our head coach. Like he came back my sophomore year to be the head coach, and like there was no doubt that he knew what he was doing, whether he did or he didn't. Like I mean, a
Hmm.
human.
Hmm.
We said, "What do we do? What's the play, coach?" He said, "This is the play." We're like, all right, that's the play. Like we're just got to go act
Right.
it.
Right.
Like we were freaking good like that.
Yeah.
And there I remember one time we lost 3 games my senior year by a total of 3 points, 1 point each game we lost.
Hmm.
And there was a couple times the coach said, "Man, we shouldn't have gone for two. We should have just kicked the field goal." I was like, "But we were all about going for two. Like we wanted to win. We didn't want to tie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we were bought into your decision. Don't second guess it."
Yeah.
I remember him just being upset after one game. Like I would have gone for like I loved going for two. Like that's great. Like I trust your decision.
Yep. Yep.
So like you said, just trust the coach and put in the work.
Because then you get to exactly, you can focus on the work, you can focus on the let's get that ball to the touchdown, like let's do this thing, rather than like what play are we going to do. Like leave that to someone who wants to do that, which is the
Yep.
coach or the personal trainer. Like that's your job. This is what you love to do. You love to create programs for people to execute, so that all they have to worry about is executing. And then to take it a step further, eventually after execution of months or maybe even the year, you're going to now have a better understanding of like, oh, okay, I'm starting to now think like my coach. Now I'm
Mhm.
starting to think, oh, okay, this is what we did, and this is what I'm going to do because I feel like this. And I think that's the great thing about that Duff 365 that you're
Mhm.
doing, is you're setting these people up for habits so that in a year's time they can still ride with you. If they like that accountability, or they're maybe like, yeah, I can fly on my own. I've started to get a better understanding of what my body is telling me, and I got it from here, coach. And I love that, because you're kind of, it's in the same, you are instilling everyone's own personal inner coach. Like you're helping coach their inner
Yeah,
coach by
yeah.
doing
I
this
want I want you to
long-term thing.
learn. I don't want to just. I don't want you to just replicate things you see. Like I want you to understand why. Like, okay, Troy, your hip flexors are tight. Because you're sitting a lot. So
Yep.
when you stand up, they tend to pull your hips down. That puts pressure on your lower back. So I explain that to you, and I show you how to do the hip flexor stretch.
Yep.
And I say, now, anytime your back flares up, do your hip flexor stretch. Feel
Yep.
better. And you're
Yep.
like, oh, okay, pain, no pain, got it.
Exactly.
Like I don't want you I don't want to babysit all the time.
Exactly.
I want to teach you.
I love that. I know. I love that. Um, to switch up the questions here a little bit, what is your favorite color, Duff?
So oddly enough, my being blue and white in high school, my
Uh-huh.
favorite combo color is red and black.
Red and black. Nice.
So it always looked sharp to me.
Uh-huh.
That's why a lot of my initial apparel was red and black. You see
Hmm. Yeah.
that old
Yeah.
school Atlanta Falcons helmet is red and black.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're probably looking for like, well, it's red to show, but no, it's just
No,
I
no,
think it
it's all
looks cool.
good. It's all good. No, because my last couple guests that I've had on, they're more into the body work field, massage and stuff, and uh, we kind of all share this like common blue theme, like blue and green, and it's like I like, and no, you don't need a reason, because like I just know that blue was my favorite color growing up. I was actually forced to like red because my older brother liked blue, and yeah, exactly. My little brother Sam, his favorite color is red, and it just fits his personality so well because he's just this like fiery person. He's like got all this energy, ready to go, and you guys kind of have that same similar energy, this like headstrong, like like let's kind of go. And yeah, me and my other couple friends that I had on here were just like back, like a little chill. We kind of talk a little softer, like kind of thing. So I'm just asking more and more people because I want to see like, ooh, this person is this. Yeah, like so no, that's cool. And then the other thing I want to ask is explain yourself in third person. How would you describe Robert Duff through third person?
Third person. All right, so I mean,
I love this question.
Simple, like Robert Duff wants to help. And the avenue that I have to help the most right now is through movement and helping your life improve through increased movement.
Mm-hmm.
I guess would be a good way to say it, because even if your energy is low, you need to move more. I know even me, if I don't feel like doing anything and I go lay on the couch, guess what happens?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
Yep.
I lay on the couch all day.
Yep.
If I don't feel like moving, like occasionally, like I'll lay down, I'll tell myself ahead of time, okay, you don't feel like doing anything. Go lay down, close your eyes, no screens, no phones, no sounds, no dings, no beeps. Close your eyes, just lay there. And normally after about 10 minutes, I'm like, yeah, I got to do something.
Yep.
That or I fall asleep. And if I fall asleep, I wake up and then I do something.
Yep. You know, I had that moment last night. Yeah, last night it got late into the evening. I realized, man, I haven't done my workout, and I'm just like tired because I took a nap late in the day. Like I had a client, so like my energy was just like woof. And when I got up from the nap, I like had some energy, but I was also very lethargic. And I'm like, all right, if I don't do it now, like I'm not gonna do it. Like let's just go down to the basement, let's start working out. And Wendy comes down and we just kind of start chatting, and I'm just like laying on the floor, like I'm like halfway through it, and I'm like, I didn't really want to do this at all, but I know that like I'm gonna feel like crap not doing it, so I might as well feel like crap and do it. So it's like it's that mental, like I'm gonna feel bad either way, so like might as well have done something, even if it's a lower quality workout. And that's again why I love your program and just your philosophy of being a coach, is that yeah, it's not about killing every workout. Like yeah, sometimes days suck. Like that's being a human, that's being adaptable, and that's real life. That is real life. Those moments do happen, and yeah, just try to get through it. And maybe there's another day where like I try, and that's actually happened, where I get through the first workout and I'm like, no dude, like I don't have anything for this workout. It's like, okay, now I know. Now I can rest knowing that this is what I had to do, that I'm not doing the workout today, and that's fine.
Yep.
So yeah.
And those days are normally the days where I will start with stretching. And I will tell my head, okay, just do your stretches then. Just do your stretches, then you can be done. And normally when I'm doing my stretches, I'm almost done. I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling this. I can go lift some weights.
Right.
And then if you don't, okay, you're right, told yourself it's fine.
Yep.
Don't stress about it. Get over it. Just move on and continue your day.
Yep.
Because exercise is stress already, mild but stress.
Yep.
Stressing about exercise is double stress.
Yep.
So don't stress it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Dude, thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing yourself and your wisdom and your philosophy, and just spending some time and being a good ass friend. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you too, man.
I love it. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna take the recording off, and bye, Robert.